What is he talking about? Mystery Man too?
There's one thing that proves that man was Detective Goodman, sir. There in the evidence room, one must use their ID card. When an ID card is used, there's a record of it. At the time of the crime, the detective had used his card.
Oh.
An ID card record, I see.
I have the ID card record right here, Your Honor. The ID used at 514 is that of the victim.
Just before the crime, Yes, without a doubt, this is the victim's ID. However, one thing to strike me as unusual. Several hundred cases should have been due for transfer. Why were there so few people using this room?
This particular evidence room is only used for storing certain special cases. Special cases? Extremely violent cases involving police staff. Just hearing that makes my hair stand on end. Me too. No, that doesn't make much of a difference. There were only a few cases up for transfer there, and most were cleared up by noon.
Right, I see. Now, let's move on to the cross-examination. There's one other thing that proves the man was Detective Goodman, sir.
So, unlike your earlier testimony, you believe this to be rock solid, do you?
Yes, sir. Solid as stone, sir. My hand wasn't wrapped in bandages. I don't even give the V for victory sign, sir.
Couldn't he just use his right hand for that?
Let's hear him out fully. As we've seen, one never knows what he might say until the very last second. Yes. To enter the evidence room, one must use their ID card.
Is that card hanging from your neck one of these ID cards?
Yes, sir. This card right next to my cuff, sir. I keep it here so I won't ever forget it.
But what if someone were to steal it from you? Keep it out in the open like that?
Maybe I shouldn't wear it around my neck. Remember when I said 2 out of 3 times my tie gets stuck when I get out of my car? Well, the remaining time it's my ID card that gets stuck. Instead of the door closing, my ID card chokes me.
Maybe I should just leave this one alone. At any rate, each police officer has only one ID card. Both the police department and the prosecutor's office can attest to this.
Please proceed with your testimony. I wish I had a card. But an ID card is used as a record of it.
Let it be noted that this is the record the witness referred to.
Let me see. Yes, that would be it. Detective Goodman,
What's the matter?
According to this, Mr. Edgeworth, your name is on here.
So it is, Your Honor.
Not that prosecutor again!
Hey, maybe he's behind all this. Being a prosecutor, he can hide the evidence.
Mommy, is that man in blue a murderer?
Shh! Don't stare at him. You've got the wrong color, kid.
It would seem to me that you've lived your life. The inquiry committee will want to speak with you again today.
I have nothing to be ashamed of regarding my actions or their consequences. For now, let us continue with the cross-examination.
Poor Mr. Edgeworth. It must be so difficult for him.
At the time of the crime, the detective had used his card.
Earlier, I believe you testified that when you asked the man to show his ID card, he pulled out a knife on you.
Yes, sir. He didn't show me any ID card, sir.
Don't you think that's odd? I mean, if he had his ID card, all he had to do was show it to you. There wouldn't be any reason to draw a knife.
Maybe he just panicked.
Everything stems from contradictions. Let's point them out.
Mr. Wright, what do you think?
I'm confused.
What?
Problem with this ID card testimony is far too obvious. It's not like Edgeworth to miss something like this.
You're thinking too hard about it. Come on, let's show him what we got.
Yeah, I think it's pretty easy too. He didn't use his ID card. It's right here with me. You're wrong. Wait one moment, Officer Meekins.
I'm not good at waiting, sir.
I have the victim's ID card right here. I found it at the crime scene.
That makes sense.
When I say crime scene, I'm not referring to the evidence room at the police department. I mean the other crime scene. The underground parking lot of the prosecutor's office. Your Honor, I have one more piece of evidence to present. It's a very important clue regarding the victim's ID card.
A lost item report? It's only half completed.
But it shows that Detective Goodman had lost something on the day of the crime. Something important enough to fill out this report. Let me guess. You believe this something to be his ID card, right? I can't say for sure, but there is a high probability. On the day of the crime, Detective Goodman was not carrying his card.
Order! Order! So now, what does this all mean?
Can only mean one thing. Doesn't even require much thought. The man Officer Meekins encountered in the evidence room was not Detective Goodman, but rather the man who stole his ID card.
Order! 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 Does the prosecution have a response?
I have only one thing to say to the defense. Huh? Bravo, Mr. Wright. Bravo? Allow me to summarize the defense's argument. At 5:15 p.m. on the day of the crime, the man in the evidence room Officer Meekins encountered was not Detective Goodman. There are two grounds to support this. First, the locker in the evidence room was already unlocked. Second, the victim lost his ID card. Am I correct so far, Mr. Wright? Yes. What's he up to? That being the case, we must inevitably arrive at a single conclusion. If the victim in this video is a fake, then the murder in the evidence room is also fake. In other words, the security camera does not show the instant of the murder. That is... Well, I guess that's right. Is something wrong, Mr. Wright? Only moments ago you seemed content to be pointing your finger around. This isn't going to end well. Well, it seems you have finally realized exactly what you've gone to such lengths to prove.
Explain yourself, Miss Edgeworth.
The defense has already done the explaining for me. The victim in this video is a fake, which means a murder did not take place at the police department at 5:15 on the day of the crime.
So
the real crime could only take place at one location, the underground parking lot. At the prosecutor's office, the murderer being Miss Lana Skye, the defendant. The evidence is compelling. A trustworthy witness observed the moment the defendant used the murder weapon. Ah! I knew that testimony was meant way too shabby. It was all a trap from the beginning.
activity in the evidence room still leaves many questions unanswered. Who exactly was the victim Officer Meekins encountered? And where did this person disappear to? However, this trial's purpose is to examine only the murder of Detective Goodman.
Just so, Your Honor.
Mr. Wright, you have to do something, or else Lana...
What do I do? How am I supposed to get myself out of this mess? I'll object. Yeah, there you go. One moment, Your Honor. What now, Mr. Wright? Don't tell me you're objecting to what you've just proven. Of course not. But I almost walked right into the prosecution's trap. What are you talking about? This cross-examination has proven one thing and one thing only. The security video did not show the actual murder. Yes? What did it show? Come on. Come on. Please. Please say something. However, it cannot be said that it is unrelated to the murder in the parking lot. Specifically, large amounts of blood traces were found in the evidence room. The defense demands further examination into the truth of the matter.
Mr. Edgeworth,
Yes, Your Honor.
if this court were to examine this further, other witnesses would be necessary. Is the prosecution prepared?
I'm sorry, Your Honor. The prosecution considered the incident at the police department to be unrelated. We have not prepared any other witnesses for this incident. This just might be my chance. Time to call a certain Texas Ranger to the stand.
Mr. Wright, do you mean...
Your Honor, the defense would like to request a specific witness.
Oh, whom do you have in mind?
Someone we have reason to believe he knows the truth. The truth behind the activities that took place in the evidence room. The prosecution requests to hear this person's name before deciding whether or not to comply.
Very well then, Mr. Wright. This person whom you would have testify, what is his or her name?
Well, it's obvious, isn't it? It's a little Texan Ranger we all know and love. This guy.
Mr. Wright, I'm not even going to bother asking you why. I've never seen a more obvious tall tactic in my entire career.
Mr. Wright, don't you remember what you said this morning? You know, about your trump card?
That's right. Those bloody fingerprints we found in the evidence room. Now's my chance to bring him in to testify.
Very well then, Mr. Wright. This person whom you would have testify, what is his or her name?
Alright. Officer Jake Marshall. Why him? Can't let Edgeworth know everything just yet. He's in charge of the evidence room. I feel we should hear what he has to say. The prosecution agrees to the defense's request. Since he was responsible for guarding the room, we should hear his testimony. Fortunately, he works in the police department. We shouldn't need longer than 20 minutes to prepare.
Very well. The court will take a 30-minute recess while the witness is subpoenaed. Will the prosecution please prepare the witness during this time?
We will, Your Honor.
Court is now in recess. Lunchtime! Yay!
Fuck. What do you want? What? No stopping you, is there, Mr. Wright? Huh?
What do you mean?
You called for Jake Marshall. Seems you've figured everything out. I haven't figured anything out.
Lana, you're the one who knows everything.
Emma.
You always know everything. Why don't you just tell us? Mr. Wright is trying his hardest to protect you.
I don't recall ever asking for his protection.
How can you be so cold? Don't you trust us? Don't you trust me?
But
Hope I'm not interrupting anything, pals. Oh, guess I am. I'll come back later.
wait, Detective Gumshoe, what is it?
You've got a lot of nerve, pal, making a text for an on duty. Top it off, you call me here. I've seen every people without funerals.
Sorry, Detective.
You better be, pal. Hey! I didn't see you there. Check you like huh?
That's okay. So, have you brought what I asked?
Oh, you mean this, right?
My apologies, Detective. Due to my present circumstances, I was forced to use Miss Wright's name when making my request.
My name?
Never in a million years would I have thought it was you who asked me. Could I bother you to bring me the SR9 incident files? I'll need them by noon.
Talk about crazy.
The SR9 incident?
But Lana, that's...
I thought Miss Wright might need them, so I had them brought here. Here, you might do well to read them.
I can't believe you, the chief prosecutor. I can't believe you, the chief prosecutor, were a witness in that case.
This guy was a witness?
What's going on here?
Take it from me, you don't want anything to do with serial murders. Oh, what? Now that I've brought you stuff, you're just gonna ignore me?
Emma? But why? Why is your name in here?
What? My name isn't there? I don't know. Unless... No, it couldn't be. Lena, this SL9 incident... Is that...
That's the classification number the police filed it under. 2 years ago, the rest of the world knew it as the Joe Dark killings.
The Joe Dark... No, Lena. That's over with. No! Emma, wait! She ran away.
Yeah, you know what? I just remembered. I gotta be somewhere. Sorry, pal, but I'm out of here.
Jake Marshall, Angel Starr, Damon Gant, Miles Edgeworth. Not to mention Lana and Emma. Everyone involved in this case is connected to those killings 2 years ago. This can't be just a coincidence. Knowing you just might be able to figure it out. Time to get back to the trial, Mr. Wright. Best of luck. I better take a good look at this file. Yes, sir. Incident number SL9 closed. Perpetrator Joe Dark. Crime, serial murder, sentence, death. Victims Edward Jones, Jason Knight, Rachel Moss, Neil Marshall. Neil Marshall. Edith Kirby, Jeb Bates. Head prosecutor Miles Edgeworth, witnesses Lana Skye, Emma Skye. Executive investigators Damon Gant, Lana Skye. Head investigator Bruce Goodman. Investigators Jake Marshall, Angel Starr. Huh. Interesting. Very informative, thank you. To be continued. February 24th, 12:14 p.m. District Court, Courtroom number 9.
Court will now reconvene for the trial of Miss Lana Skye.
Emma didn't come back. Allow me to call the next witness to the stand. The officer in charge of guarding the evidence room on the day of the crime. Witness, please state your name and occupation.
Me, partner? Oh, I'm just a man, same as you, worn on the trails of civilization.
Occasionally helping the elderly cross intersections when needed. Yes, we get it.
Oh, I know, you're a patrolman. As for my name, if you listen hard enough, you can hear the howling wind calling out.
To be exact, it's Jake Marshall, Your Honor.
Howling wind? I've never heard Edgeworth described that way before.
Now, Mr. Marshall, let me ask you something. You were in charge of guarding the evidence room on the day the crime took place. Is this correct?
According to the papers, partner? What do you mean? A desperado's soul is as boundless as the desert sands. No paper can sum it up. Maybe it's best we get on with this quickly. Please share with us your testimony of the day of the crime. In plain old English. Please.
Here we go.
My job was to keep a wary eye on that bone orchard. They said I was supposed to make rounds 3 times a day, but that ain't my style. Besides, the room's protected by 2 security systems anyway. If I remember right, I was at a street-side saloon at the time it went down. I'm just an innocent traveling man, so if we're out of ammo, it's time to hit the trail. I can't say I particularly care for your attitude. I can't say I care for your beard, but you don't see me complaining.
Wait a minute. What do you mean by 2 security systems?
I mean the security cameras and the ID card reader. I reckon even a cowpoke like you knows about those.
Yes, well, what about the fingerprint activated locks on the evidence lockers?
Fingerprint activated locks? What kind of newfangled doohickeys are those?
He's not being very helpful. He's not that good with machines or with following orders.
Everyone's got their weaknesses now, don't they, Mr. Prosecutor? This one seems like trouble. Okay, Mr. Wright, he's all yours.
Thanks.
My job was to keep a wary eye on that bone orchard.
How exactly did you keep an eye on that evidence room?
I just made sure nothing moved in the security camera monitor.
That room's so still, even time dies in there. I was just a caretaker who entered the recordings. You entered them? Videos of nothing aren't that useful. When the time would come, I'd raise a tape. If nothing unusual is recorded, tapes ought to be erased every 6 hours. Each time I'd raise a tape, it felt like I was erasing a part of my life. This guy has a flair for the dramatic, but it isn't gonna do him any good. So, in actuality, you don't physically enter the evidence room. They said I was supposed to make rounds 3 times a day, but that ain't my style. But you made your rounds on the day of the crime, right? Hey, you heard a word I said, partner? I told you that ain't my style. I'm afraid I don't understand. No desperado I know lets rules get in his way. No desperados I know joined the police force.
So, Officer Marshall, on the day of the crime,
Just between you and me, I didn't set foot in the evidence room that day.
there was a rubber glove stuck in the victim's locker. Do you know anything about that?
Sorry, partner, can't say I do. I haven't been in that crypt in weeks. How does this guy avoid being fired? Besides, the room's protected by 2 security systems anyway. You used to be a detective, so you've used the evidence room in the past, correct?
Of course. Back in the day, my locker was the gold mine of evidence.
And yet, you didn't know about the fingerprint locking mechanism? Sorry, partner, I ain't good with machines. I couldn't even tell you how a bike works. That's quite, incredible. The sensors on the locker handles cannot be seen. It's well known that some detectives are unaware of their presence. Now that he mentions it, Detective Gumshoe said something like that, too.
At any rate, it doesn't seem that this is relevant to the crime. Can you tell us what you were doing when the crime took place?
If I remember right, I was a street-side saloon at the time it went down. What were you doing in a place like that? I was eating spaghetti. Not even Angel Steak lunches can beat that parlor's Vongoli sepia pasta.
Do you mean to tell us you abandoned your police duties to eat some noodles?
Not all desperados eat tacos, partner.
That's not what I meant. I hope this has at least taught you a lesson.
That's strange. This is usually where Edgeworth says, "Did you not want to a raise this year?" I'm just an innocent travel man, so if you're out of ammo, it's time I hit the trail. Out of ammo, Officer Marshall? That's right, partner. Or as you'd call it, evidence. If you plan to pin me to this crime, you better draw. Otherwise, you're just wasting my time. My steel horse is waiting to carry me back west in the sunset.
One thing seems clear. Despite being responsible for guarding the evidence room, the witness doesn't appear to have seen anything.
Texas don't take orders from anyone. Everyone knows that. Apparently your superiors don't. Okay, I have a trump card up my sleeve, so I best keep my cool. Before I use it, though, I better up the ante. Excuse me, you weren't there? Then how do you explain this? Officer Marshall, doesn't it strike you as odd? That is, you being called in to testify like this. After all, you weren't in the security room at the time of the crime. And yet you dragged me down here. Explain yourself, partner. Yeah, it's quite simple. You left a very large trail behind at the scene. Or, to be exact, a handprint. Lives real good, partner. Like I said, I'm the caretaker of that crypt. I pay my respects, that is, make my rounds, about once a month. It's only natural my fingerprints would be in there. No. I only wish it were, officer. But you see, your fingerprints were covered in blood.
Witness, what's the meaning of this? Your blood-stained fingerprints were at the crime scene?
The blood was wiped away. However, a luminol test clearly revealed this. Well, Officer Marshall? It seems to me
To live, to love. There ain't a person in this room with a head on his shoulders.
I take it you have an explanation then, Officer Marshall? About the blood-stained fingerprints?
Very well, you may begin your testimony about your fingerprints found at the scene of the crime.
Yeah, I'd like to see him explain this.
Like I said, it's only natural for my fingerprints to be in that evidence room. One of them just happened to be at the same place as the bloodstained handprint. The murderer touched the locker where my fingerprint was by chance. Bloodstain and the fingerprints are completely unrelated. Or didn't you know the murderer was wearing gloves? See? It had nothing to do with it. The witness's explanation appears valid, although there's room for doubt. Life wouldn't be fun without any doubt, partner. The defense may now cross-examine the witness.
This guy's hiding something. I can feel it. Now's my chance to prove it. I like to prove it, prove it. I like to prove it, prove it.
Like I said, it's only natural for my fingerprints to be in that evidence room.
That's because you, how did you put it, pay your respects once a month?
Yeah, that's right. And one more thing. That locker happens to be mine. What? What do you mean? I mean what I said. That's the locker I used when I was a detective. The locker I still use. All that's in there now, though, is a heap of broken dreams.
I see.
It'd be strange my prints weren't all over that locker.
Apparently his fingerprint data was never removed from that locker's programming. Must have been using the fingerprint lock all this time without ever knowing it. Interesting.
One of them just happened to be at the same place as the bloodstained handprint.
So then, what about that bloody handprint?
Wasn't mine. It's no mystery. Please explain. My locker is covered with my fingerprints. It's just so happened. Murderer touched the locker where my fingerprint was by chance.
The chances of that happening are 1,000,000 to 1.
On the contrary, one could argue just the opposite. The chances of that not happening are 1,000,000 to 1. Get one thing straight, partner. You ain't gonna get no reward from me with a mere fingerprint. You wanna know why? Bloodstain and the fingerprint are completely unrelated.
Unrelated?
There is a difference night and day. Kinda like cereal and cereal. One's got to do with breakfast while the other's type of murder. He's right. Although seemingly alike, they're totally different.
I don't see what M&Ms have to do with this.
Or didn't you know the murderer was wearing gloves?
How do you know that?
I'm a BL loner, but I still do my job. I keep up on the reports.
There was a bloodstain on the scene, thought to be left by the murderer. That's right. It was found in Detective Gumshoe's locker. However, no fingerprints were detected on that handprint. Oh yeah, I think we tried that too.
So that would mean the murderer wearing gloves happened to place their hand on top of Officer Marshall's fingerprints. That's the only logical conclusion. Are you starting to get the picture, partner?
The picture?
This seal of blood in the desert is just food for the buzzards. There's only one reality, and that's this.
The security tape?
So long as my trail isn't in there, you can't say otherwise. This isn't getting us anywhere, Mr. Wright. Please consider carefully where you're going with this cross-examination.
Yes, Your Honor.
Now then, continue your testimony, Officer Marshall.